What's going on? It's April 27th, and I don't know, man. I look tired this morning. I'm not that tired, but sometimes I just have to get on camera and do these lessons, even when I'm looking old and tired today. Please excuse me. I'll probably look even older tomorrow because I will be older tomorrow. So let's talk about CNN 10, three stories as usual. Well, three and a half. And the first one, as I predicted yesterday, India is making an appearance. We're going to be studying a little bit more about India this week, trying to get to know that country as well as we can. Remember, massive country, 1.3 billion people. And this massive country is seeing a huge increase, like setting records you don't want to set for the most coronavirus cases in a single day. They're at about 300,000 a day, and that's been happening for about a week. So luckily, India, when the U.S. was having its worst battle with the coronavirus, like last March, April, May, India sent aid to us, sent help. And now the U.S. is returning that favor because even though, we're not doing incredibly well, we do have higher cases. Luckily, the need for things like ventilators that will help people breathe and oxygen, we don't need that as much. The U.S. doesn't, so they're sending help to India. And an interesting thing, if we were in class together, I might pause and ask, okay, who is India's biggest rival? Who does India not get along with the most in the world? And I'm hoping you would say, oh, Pakistan. Now, that would be true. That would be true. There's a bitter border between India and Pakistan. They often fight or argue. There hasn't been an actual battle between the two countries in a really long time, but Kashmir is a region that both claim. And so there have been tensions at the border. Maybe we should watch the border. It looks really cool to visit, but they're very different. But Pakistan is sending help too. So I think that's a really good sign to show that, they don't like each other right now. They do have some bit of rivalry, but it can be put aside when one country really needs the help. The next one is talking about Armenia. And we have talked about Armenia before because it's an A country. We have studied it. I don't know if you remember Armenia and Azerbaijan. They are close to Turkey. They're close to another country called Georgia, right in a very mountainous region. But in 1914, think World War I, everybody was fighting. It was a world war. But there was this country called the Ottoman Empire. You don't hear about the Ottoman Empire anymore. It's not around. We know it as Turkey, though. I mean, it was bigger when it was the Ottoman Empire, but the center of the Ottoman Empire is what we call Turkey today. And the Ottoman Empire, like most countries, fought in World War I. But the little country of Armenia really, and it's a touchy subject because Armenia definitely thinks the genocide happened. Over 100,000 people were just murdered, were killed, or starved. Just horrible things happened. Turkey does not admit that they were responsible for those deaths. So since 1914, it's been, Turkey and Armenia do not get along. Armenia and Azerbaijan do not get along. Some of it has to do with religion. Armenia claims that it's one of the first Christian countries. And then Turkey and Azerbaijan, they are both Muslim countries. So there is that rivalry there between religion. There's a dispute over land. There's this famous mountain called Mount Arafat, and it's in Turkey right now, but Armenia claims that it was stolen from them. So presidents have refused, past U.S. presidents, have refused to come out and say, okay, what Turkey did was a genocide. That's the big word. It's like, a lot of people died on both sides. But President Biden has finally came out, and he has recognized that what happened in Armenia and the Ottoman Empire, it was a genocide, and it was the responsibility of Turkey. President Obama, President Trump, they rarely agree on anything, right? Can we say like they're pretty opposite people? Well, even they both refuse to call what happened in Armenia a genocide. But you can look it up and do a little more research if you would like. Just type in Armenian genocide, and there is quite a bit of information on that. We have talked about other genocides. Remember the Cambodian genocide in the 1970s when we studied Cambodia. You may remember the name Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge. That was a genocide as well. There have been genocides in Rwanda, and of course the most famous genocide, the Holocaust. So genocide, remember, it's the murder of, definition's hard to say of like the number, but let's say at least tens of thousands, right? And it's usually more than 100,000. What else? Oh, the Hyperloop. Have you heard about this thing? It could be pretty amazing. There's this company, very famous company. Don't laugh. It's called Virgin. They have I've actually flown Virgin Atlantic Airlines from Boston to London back in the 90s. It was an amazing airline. I'm sure it still is, but really top-notch service, just everything. Well, they are getting into the Hyperloop business. And what a Hyperloop is, they don't mention this in CNN 10, but it reminds me of a newer type of roller coaster that uses magnets to just like shoot people into the air. If you've ever seen the Superman ride at Six Flags in New Jersey, the tallest, or is it King Ka? I think it's King Ka actually. The tallest roller coaster, just like pretty much goes up and down, but it's a massive loop. And that's what they do, is they use magnets to just shoot this roller coaster forward, and it can go 0 to 60 in just half a second or something like that. Those numbers aren't accurate. But what a Hyperloop is, it uses the same technology. And so you'll be going as fast as an airplane, but you're still on the ground and you're in a tube. And it's pretty cool, and it could change the way we travel, at least, within the United States. I'm not sure how it would work going from, Europe to Asia. Well, that might work, but from North America to Europe, where you have to cross the ocean, or from like California to Japan, because they don't call it a train, but to me, it looks like a train. It looks like a subway because there is a tube, and it's just so you don't have to worry about hitting anything. You're in the ground, and I thought like, whatever. What's the difference? Like plane, maybe it's a little safer. Plane travel, think about it, it's like really safe. But they're talking about emissions. Like there's practically zero emissions. Like it's way better for the environment than all of the fuel used for an airplane. So I think what they're trying to do is get it to go from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, which kind of makes sense because I think a lot of the land in between would be kind of desert. But who knows? It could. It's not going to be anytime soon because they're still working on this stuff. But one day it might change, the way we travel. Maybe not me. I don't know if I'll live that long. But maybe you, maybe. Oh, that's a great note to end on, my death. How about let's end on a different note, because CNN 10 does too. And that is the name Josh. Like if we don't have anybody in this class named Josh, but think of any Joshes you know. And the last story has something to do with Josh. I don't want to say too much, but I literally did. I LOL'd. I did. I actually laughed out loud. So let's end it right here. Please watch CNN 10, and then there's going to be a video about India too that I